talk about Oklahoma. Wildly disappointing season last year for Oklahoma fans. Something that they are not used to at all.
And yet they're up to 9.5 on their win total.
Yeah. So I'll let
What
you take
happened?
over.
What happened? To be honest,
Yeah.
I'm actually taking the over on this.
Whoa.
Yep. I am drinking
Gosh.
all of that Kool-Aid with the Brent Venables year 2 jump. We did our year 2 coaches draft, and since then I'm actually way higher on Venables than I was before then because we've gone through summer, we've gone through most of fall camp, and we've seen that progression happen. That we were kind of thinking about, but it's actually happening now. I think they do lose some good players. I think both tackles, Wanya Morris, Anton Harrison, all right, were studs for them. I think they do replace them pretty well. They got some guys from Stanford and TCU. Walter Ruse is a good player. He'll be coming in there. I obviously Marvin Mims. I think he's really, really good. I think he's gonna be really good in the NFL. If you're a fantasy guy, I mean, I don't really give out fantasy advice, but I think he's really damn good. I think if you're doing a dynasty league, I think he'd be someone to talk about. But back to Oklahoma for this year, I think Dylan Gabriel, again, I love him. I think he's going to take another step forward, right? He's just got to stay healthy, though. But even if he's not, right, Jackson Arnold, all signs seems that he's a stud, and we kind of knew that. But I think Gabriel can win you 10 games and then some, especially with the schedule. I mean, not at Texas, but you get the Texas on the neutral site. Their out of conference game, SMU is very interesting, but it's at home. Everyone else, I mean, at BYU is tough. You get to go to Stillwater and Oklahoma State, and then TCU at the finish line. I don't think this is a crazy hard schedule. That's why that line is so high, and I think they're going to take advantage of it. Right? Are they on the same level as Texas? And no, I don't think so. I think Brent Venables is a year behind Steve Sarkisian. He should be. But I think the defense is going to take a whole heck of a leap forward with the transfer portals they got, with the depth that's developing behind them, with the young guys, right? Specifically Billy Bowman and Woody Washington, that 2 older guys in that room. They're damn good in the back end. What say you?
I'm almost with you. I do. This is a good team. This is a really good team. It does worry me that you lose both tackles. It would have like last year, right? Like I don't love taking overs. I do sometimes. I do. You'll see me do it. You might see me do it today. But I don't really love taking overs if you don't really have a solid backup quarterback. But Jackson Arnold does. He's a great from what we've seen. I know he's a true freshman. From what we've seen, he is a good football player. So and running back group, Javante Barnes, Gavin Sawchuk. I mean, they don't lose a step there at all. They're really awesome. I think like wide receiver, the issue I have is can we get an alpha in there? Right? Like, is Jalil Farouk going to be an alpha? I don't think he's necessarily an alpha, right? Is Brendan Thompson
Got to be one of those
like
transfers, yeah.
a big transfer? Like, it's going to be Andre Anthony? Like, who's it going to be? Who's going to be the guy that steps up?
Frank Stoops.
and is that guy? I love Jeff Levy on offense. I don't think they're not. I think they'll score points. They're going to be a pretty decent offensive team. I do like some of these defensive guys that like Billy Bowman, Woody Washington. I do like some of these defensive guys. And of course, Brett Venables is a defensive guy. Like you got to trust him there. But I'm still shook just from last season. I still am shook. I can't shake it off. But it might cost me money. It might cost me money. We'll see. But I do like this team a lot. I do like they should be the second odds on favorite in the Big 12. They should be. Right? I do think though, I worry also, not that this didn't impact my pick at all, but it is interesting though, the dynamic of Oklahoma and Texas leaving, right? Going to Stillwater this year, that environment might be the craziest thing we've ever seen, in Stillwater ever. So a road game like that worries me a lot, but their other road games are not difficult. That's also why the schedule in that dynamic favors you a lot, right? Because Provo is a tough place to play, but they're less talented than Oklahoma, right? Cincinnati.
By week 12, Oklahoma should be a well-oiled machine. You'd think, unless the wheels have fallen off this year. But by week 12, I mean, you'd think their defense would be playing at a pretty high level.
Yeah, and Kansas is not a scary environment. Nippert Stadium, that Nippert Stadium will be packed for that game. It will be, but again, they're much more talented than Cincinnati. So all their big games, like really, like where they like their TCU, right? Texas is at neutral site, I guess, but I'd say like the scariest game on their schedule, I think, is Oklahoma State. Like to slip up for that second loss, if they lose to Texas, right, and they slip up to Oklahoma State, then all it takes is just I don't know, it just takes a couple turnovers.
Well, yeah.
They don't have to play Baylor this year, which is really nice. Um, yeah, and they draw a lot of these. Is that every single new? No, they don't draw Houston, I guess, but yeah, and then TCU, that could be a tough game. That could be again a tough game. So I was really close to taking the over here, but I just couldn't do it. I don't know why. I'm sorry, Oklahoma fans. I just couldn't do it. I still have not made a single pick yet at all, but they're coming. I promise. I promise people they're coming.
Yeah, if you want to talk about, some transfers that Oklahoma's bringing in, or at least I'm sorry, I want to talk about them. I think Dason McCullum, from Indiana to play linebacker for him. I think he's a really, really good player. There's a reason why he was so highly sought after in the transfer portal. Is because of how well he played as a true freshman. Now he gets a year to be coached, or a summer, an offseason, be coached by, Brent Venables and the staff there. He'll plug and play right there next alongside two other sophomores and Gentry Williams and uh Jaron Kanek and Dan Stutzman. I mean, they got a lot of depth there. I guess I wouldn't say a lot of depth. I'm sorry, Gentry Williams, the cornerback. I'm so sorry. Him and Woody Washington. I'm getting a little mixed up here, but and then at safety they bring in Reggie Pearson, right, from Texas Tech, who we know, Matthew's pretty high on. And then also Philip Paya from Utah State. He's a guy that not many people have really heard of. He's kind of been hurt a little bit, but he could be a dude, right? He was really, really good. People who watch film there. Utah State had a damn good defensive line rotation, actually, and he was one of them. When he played, he was really, really good. And I think Brent Venables will get the best out of him. So I think schedule dynamics, I think that they're deeper than they were last year. Last year, I mean,
This first year.
The floor fell out under him.
Well, first year depth issues.
Yes, and especially at the quarterback position. Behind Dillon Gabriel, there was nobody. It was general booty, right? And it was literally a booty room. And now I think with Jackson Arnold there, I think with Dillon Gabriel, year 2 under Jeff Lebby in this Oklahoma offense, right? Dillon Gabriel's been with Jeff Lebby for a little bit, but or before. But yeah, I think this is a 10-win team for sure. 11 with upside. Obviously, Texas, I think, is a loss because of how high we are on Texas, but nobody else scares me. I think an interesting part that you said, though, with Oklahoma and Texas leaving, they're going to get, I mean, every year Oklahoma and Texas have a target on their back, from teams just because of the success they've had and, at least the logo of Texas. But I think they're going to be extra chippy. A lot of these Big 12 teams are going to be pretty upset and want to get the last laugh with Oklahoma as they're leaving the conference. So I do think, getting to playing like a Kansas or a TCU or Oklahoma State, like you said, some of these older Big 12 schools, I think is going to be really interesting. But again, I'm taking the over here. I love this Oklahoma team. Love the dynamics of the schedule. I think they're going to be pretty damn good.